Two frontier models launched 24 hours apart this week, and both of them were reported everywhere as price cuts. So I opened the two pricing pages and put them side by side. Neither model cut its price, not by a cent. And one of the numbers actually went up. Let me take them in order because the two stories are wrong in different ways. On the 12th of August, XAI shipped Grok 4.6. It is a post-training upgrade on Grok 4.5 rather than a bigger model underneath. It is aimed squarely at long-running agents, the kind that grind through dozens of steps without you watching. It scores 61 on the Artificial Analysis Intelligence Index, which ties it with OpenAI's Soul and puts it just behind Claude. And the headline everywhere was that it did this while undercutting everyone else on price. That part is true, and it is also not the claim people repeated. What got repeated was that Grok 4.6 launched with a price cut. So here is the actual pricing table from XAI's own documentation, which takes about 10 seconds to check. Grok 4.5 costs $2 per million tokens in and $6 per million out. Grok 4.6 costs $2 per million tokens in and $6 per million out. Those are the same numbers, same input price, same output price, same 500,000 token context window. But there is one line on that table that did change, and it is the line that matters most for the exact thing this model is built to do. Cached input went from 30 cents per million to 50 cents. That is a 67% increase, and it is the only price that moved across either launch this week. If you are running a long agent loop, you are resending the same context over and over, and cached input is the line you actually pay. So the one number that moved went up on the workload the model is being sold for. There is a second trap in the same table. Above a 200,000 token prompt, every rate doubles, and the documentation is explicit that the higher rate then applies to every token in that request, not just the ones above the line. Right? Now Google, 24 hours later, because this one is a cleaner example of the same mistake. On the 13th of August, Google shipped Gemini 3.7 Flash 3 weeks after 3.6 Flash. The coding gains here are real and they are large. On Deep SSWE, it went from about 49% to 65.3%. Automation bench nearly doubled, and document comprehension went from 22% to 34%. And it was reported as arriving at half the price of the model it replaces. So I opened Google's pricing page too. Gemini 3.7 Flash is 75 cents in, $3.75 out. Gemini 3.6 Flash is 75 cents in, $3.75 out. Google's own pricing page lists the two models at exactly the same rate, so that is 2 launches in 2 days, and between them, 0 price changes downward. There is something else on that page though, and this one is a genuine warning rather than a correction. Both of those Gemini prices are introductory, and they expire on the 31st of December. On the 1st of January, they double to $1.50 in and $7.50 out. So the cheapest serious coding model right now has a countdown on it, and if you are building a business case on that 75-cent number, you have got about 4.5 months before the maths changes underneath you. Now here is the comparison nobody made, because the two models launched a day apart and got covered separately. On the same coding benchmark, Grok scores 65.9 and Gemini scores 65.3. That is a tie, and Gemini is currently a third of the price. And one last number, which XAI published about its own model. On Terminal Bench, the test for long shell sessions, Grok 4.6 scores 26%. 3 weeks ago, I said Google keeps shipping Flash models while the flagship stays missing. They just shipped another Flash, and the Pro still is not here. The lesson from all of this is boring and it keeps paying. When somebody tells you a model got cheaper, open the pricing page and look at the previous model on the same page. It took me 10 minutes and it changed both stories. I'm Dex.